David Hayes joins us. David, Flemington on Saturday were racing in race 2. Green Roller runs over the 2,000 after an excellent second up run last start at Sandown.
Yes, she's looked to hold her form. I think she's going really well. She should race right on the pace and run the 2,000 right out.
Nikamore runs in race 3 over the 1,200. She was ultra impressive, winning last start down the straight. Looks a classy filly.
Yeah, she does, and it's a big advantage to be a good straight horse, which we're hoping she is, as her older brother was, Nikoni. It'll be a really interesting clash between her and Black Caviar's sister.
They're both equal favourites at $4.60. On to race 4. Backstead stays at the 1,800, drawn barrier 11.
Yes, look, he's a war horse who's been in form and up for a long time. From the awkward barrier, he's probably going to roll forward. I was a bit critical of my jockey last start. I thought she handed up, and it probably cost him running right in the finish.
Race 5, Gracious Prospect, drawn barrier 10, stays at the 1,400 after placing last start in listed company at Morphettville.
Yeah, I don't mind the barrier for a horse that likes to roll forward. He's a really nice leader or first three. Looks to be holding his form. Another horse who's been up for a long time, but he's very fit and should give a good kick.
Race 7, Unchain My Heart, was beaten a nose at Flemington last start, steps up to the 2,800 on Saturday.
Yeah, she's that little bit fitter again. Won't be as easy from the awkward barrier, but hopefully she'll get a nice drop on the leaders, and we'll give a great kick.
In race 8, Friday Hussey is first up after a long break. What are you expecting from her over the 1,400?
She's probably a bit short, but she's a good, honest filly and one to follow as the prep goes on.
Across the border to Morphettville, race 1, Tender steps up to the 1,200. Has to turn the tables on Bull Pit, who beat her last start.
Yeah, I think a bit different, the 1,200 at Morphettville compared to the 1,000. She's got to improve a bit, but I'm hoping the extra distance, different tempo, she can.
Race 2, Helen of Rose, runs over the 2,500, drawn ideally in 4.
Yeah, her last run was better than what it looked, and she should just bowl along in the first 3 or 4 and make her own luck. And she's bred to stay 2 miles, so she'll love the mile and a half. Race
5, Star Fashion backs up after a narrow defeat in the Group 1 Oaks last start, stays at the 2,000.
Ideally drawn. Her form is outstanding. The horse she beat was an inch off winning the Derby last week, so scratchy bottom. So it's the 3rd trip over to Adelaide, so hopefully we can 4th trip actually. So hopefully she can get the black type we're looking for.
And Group 1 racing in race 7, 2 chances in the 1,200 Goodwood, starting with last start winner Pago Rock, a $26 chance, and Kayla gets her first chance in a Group 1.
Yeah, she's had 2 rides on the horse for 2 wins, and drawn to get a lovely run, probably midfield, and then give clear galloping room in the straight. So he's run 4th in a Lightning, and under handicap conditions around a bend, I think is very well placed. And Gregor's, I think, is drawn to get a great run behind. I think 5 weeks between runs. She just got found out the other day. I think with the benefit of that run, she'll run the 1,200 right out and be very hard to beat.
This is Gregor's having a final hit out before the Goodwood. This filly is wearing a tongue tie. Kayla was very happy that she accepted the tongue tie very well. She's wanting to go a bit faster here. When she lets her go, she really quickens up. She finishes off in 23.3, which is a good time up the hill. She's extending nicely and very comfortable on the slow ground.
Race 8, the Promising Girl Guide goes for 4 on the trot, runs over the 1,200.
Yeah, she's probably should be undefeated. She got beaten a millimetre at the Valley and was in front of straight after the post. It's her first trip away at the end of a long prep, so it's a big ask, but she does seem to me very well, and what a blue blood she would be if she could win the group race. It would be a huge result for the family and the stable and the owners.
This is Bradman working along in front of Girl Guide. Jay McNeil in the Lindsay Park colours with the black hat, and Bradman with the white hat. They ran home in the same time as Gregor's. which is pretty impressive. And Jo McNeil thought she felt as good as she ever does, and I think she's worth going to Adelaide on the weekend for the group race. As you can see, she's just got the better of Bradman, but Bradman I think is building up. She was just a bit sharp for him. He never really let her go.
And David, best for the weekend?
I probably like Gregor's Each Way and Nikamore in Melbourne.
All right, best of luck on Saturday, David.
Thank you.